Well, now let's talk about the security that night. How about we talk about King Von's security, Big Country, who was told he wasn't going to secure for Von that night, and he was only made into a driver, which is why he wasn't able to have his weapon that night. But ask yourself, why would they take him from being a security guard and make him a driver only, specifically that night?
What the hell? Yeah, this makes no sense, bro. He went from being a security guard to not being able to bring his gun and being a driver for the night is crazy.
That same security is currently locked up for protecting Young Mal, who was his client, who he had to shoot multiple people trying to protect his client for, which was Young Mal. So it just goes to show that whoever, quote unquote, made him into a driver that night knew what they were doing, because they knew he wasn't gonna go for anything happening to Von. Wow.
I swear to be dead niggas stand on time. Since a youngin' I stood on my bed. And when I married this book, I ain't had no kids. Little niggas better stay in that crib. And you ain't never got back for the shit that I did. Same pipe, I'ma show 'em my vid. Ain't no loyalty in the streets to go tell when they slide. Cause some niggas told 'em better than dead.
Man, OTF Vonnie father admits Lul Tim was paid to kill King Von, and we have audios with that. Tap in, shorty. And then it's kind of weird because the father is the one coming up here to tell about it. Ain't that weird to y'all? I'm kind of shook. So let's see what's really going on.
Alright, y'all. I guess since the cat is out the bag now, I guess we could speak on this, man. Now, the information that a lot of y'all are now hearing is information that we've known months ago. I think towards the end of April to be exact, but out of respect for who gave us the information, I didn't put it out there for their personal reasons. However, it's out now, and even though it's a whole lot more to the story and a whole lot of more receipts, we're just gonna focus on what y'all know, and I'll expose a few things later on as well that will make sense and line everything up with each other with what we've been saying since the past. Now, before we even start, right, the only problem I have is the fact that if y'all remember when we first started speaking on Von's past and being sketchy and something not making sense, the same people who were saying that it's all lies, conspiracy theories, they're crazy and etc., well, suddenly now they're out here making conspiracy theory content. How ironic. And here's the thing. It's not about clout, attention, views, or none of that. The sole purpose of this was to expose the weird stuff that go on in that industry. It's deeper than just King Von. This is what happens in that industry, period. And we first started out exposing that to show it, and Von's demise just so happened to be entangled with the same thing that we were talking about. But let's not forget, there's a lot of weird passings that don't make sense that we've spoken on, including Pop Smoke, Nipsey Hussle, Mode 3, Young Dolph, YBC Duel, the list goes on. So some of you only know the Von part because that's who y'all are in tune with, but it's deeper than just Von. And it's sad.
Yeah, he is right. It is way deeper than just Von, bro. Because the YBC Duel situation, we ain't get to that part. Nipsey Hussle, you feel me? Who else was it? Who else that nigga saying? I don't know, but yeah, bro. All them murders was weird, and we never got to the bottom of everything. Most of them niggas was set up. I'm gonna tell you that. Like, most of them niggas was set up. It's crazy, and I wanna know Duel. Like, think about it. YBC Duel. How did them niggas know he was in that car, and how did they know anything about it? What seat he was in and stuff? back door. You really gotta think about it.
Say Vaughn was just a number, unfortunately. The problem is, they didn't know who he was spiritually. Now I've seen Remo and No Jumper speak with Mickey Truth, and shout out to her. And they say things like, whoever's saying this must be on dope. Whoever's saying this must be clout chasing, want attention, making things up for a come up. No, this isn't something you do for a come up. There's real people out there that knows the weird stuff that goes on in that industry, and whenever you have someone that come with receipts about it, you have the people that don't understand it trying to sway the narrative.
Yeah.
But anyway, shout out to Gyla, aka Miss G, aka Top Hat, because if y'all remember, aside from us, she was the only one that was calling this out a very long time ago. And every time something pertaining to Vaughn come up, I'ma always shout her out because y'all need to know where this all came from. Now I was on YouTube doing it, she was on Facebook, but I was doing it more in the physical where I was just stating what I observed. On the other hand, Gyla was more surgical with it because she was doing it from a spiritual standpoint. But here's the difference. She was predicting what was going on and what would happen before it did, and guess what? Everything she said would come to pass did. Remember when she told you?
Now that's spooky. Somebody did some spiritual shit and told what was going to happen and stuff, and it actually happened is crazy. That's kind of spooky, bro. That's why when people be with this spiritual stuff, you just can't let that go past your head sometimes. Sometimes they know what they be talking about.
Vaughn was going to start moving like Jimmy Bones, and he wanted revenge on everybody that did him wrong. Well, fast forward to 2025, how's that been going? The whole old block has basically crumbled, so have OTF, Durk is in jail, Bezu is nowhere to be found, and Duke is no longer here. But speaking of Duke, remember when Gyla tried to warn Duke, told him to be careful? He called her crazy, and now look.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get into these audios since the cat is out the bag. I told y'all I've been sitting on these audios for a minute. Out of respect, I kept them, but it's out. So we're going to get into that and a few other things that haven't been exposed that you guys don't know. But before we do, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video into the algorithm. And if you not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get in.
He was like that. He was like that, but by taking me with him, I got a photographic commitment. We in the middle of a transaction. All the way out to center with my son. Come on, let's go. Me, my son, and his fake cousin, or whoever he is, fast, he's driving. Son, come on, give me a pistol, whatever. So I don't know what we're in. I ain't gonna ask no questions. Come on, let's go. And then Lil Tim, we on the side of the highway. Lil Tim come flying. I gotta show you the text message too. I text Lil Tim because he did an interview acting like he like that. You ain't like that. I was there when you ran from the police on the
Yo. Oh, he said don't get stepped on. The only reason, cause don't get stepped on. Why he say that again? Don't get stepped on. The only reason, cause don't get stepped on because he Muslim and you not.
Oh, we the same day bag did next to Suburban, got the bag for mine. The only reason cousin don't get stepped on cause they Muslim. You ain't Muslim. I texted him on Instagram. He ain't never responded back. I'm gonna send it to him and show you what I sent him. So he gonna know 100% facts that I was there. Because the same day you was running from the police, and you bag next to the Suburban, you in a pickup truck, and they gave you a duffel bag full of money. You know what I'm saying? This is in April 2020, being killed to November 6th. So my son thinking that I ain't gonna remember because I'm back in Chicago.
Now, speaking of OTF Vonnie, right? There's a lot of things people don't know about Vonnie. People don't know that it was an attempt on his life before him and the OTF guys were arrested.
Yeah.
Before he came back to Chicago, where he was grabbed up by the feds, he was staying in Atlanta and shared an apartment with T Styles, the girl that's a stylist and friends with Cardi B.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, he was in a vehicle where gunmen began shooting and hit the car 26 times, and he wasn't hit at all. But however, that's not the only thing that played a part with him coming back to Chicago, because they was already aware that the feds were coming, which is another reason why they were back in Chicago.
Came back to Chicago within the last couple months before they got locked up. You know what I'm saying? He with the broad T Styles, and he snaked out, did some snake into her. And, which T Styles?
He snaked her out
the
too.
T Styles that be with Cardi B. T Styles, she got
I know you talking about.
Yeah, he was her, and he snaked.
And now you gotta think of it. I don't think this dad lying now. Like, he got so much information. He know about the T Style shorty. He know about a lot of this shorty. But why would you come on here about your own seed and tell everything? You was supposed to take this to the grave, old folk. Like, you's a goofy for this one.
Down. She went somewhere, moved the furniture out the crib, had somebody steal a jug, did everything. Snake. God damn. So, but look how long I was with him. So I asked a lot of people to protect my daughters and protect my sons. I got it, you know what I mean? And guess what? They cried on my watch from when I was ignorant. What make me not be able to have to cry? You know what I'm saying? So it's just what it is. So I got shot up 26 times. He ain't not a bullet touched him. That's crazy. Not a bullet touched him. God, hit 26 times. Not a bullet touched him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, not a bullet touched him. You know what I mean? So he got up out of Atlanta, had been playing Chicago, and you know one day we standing in front of my crib. I said, man, what greater test can a man have? He said, what's that? I said, he said, what's that? I said, his own son take him to go pay for his nephew's hit. Tears didn't fall from his eyes, but they watered up. They watered up, they ain't fall. You know what I mean? What greater test can a man have? Yeah. You understand me? Dealing with this, you know what I mean? He took me to pay for it, could have left me at home. But like my man says, you know why I took you with him? You weren't gonna let nothing happen to him. If the songs are backed up, finna rob him for the bag and woo and kill him, you know you was gonna get out. That's why he took you with him. That's why he took you with him. He didn't think you was gonna remember, but that's why he took you with him. That's exactly why. You know what I'm saying? He know you gonna get out, so that's.
Oh, so they saying, nigga, he took his dad with him because if things go wrong about this bag, but why would they rob him for a bag that he was supposed to get anyways? That don't make sense. If he was gonna get the bag anyways for the murder, how was he gonna rob him for the? How would he? This just don't make sense to me.
That's why he could have left me at home. That's why he took you with him. That's why he took you with him. I'm about to say, out of all that, like you said, you could have left me home. Yeah, left me at the crib. And I'm like, hey, I don't know nothing. Come on, Pops, let's go. And to me, blick and everything. But like I said, my man said, that's why he took you with him. No, you gonna go. And you peeping, you see everyone.
Let's break something else down for y'all. The club that King Von and them went to that night he passed away, do anybody knows who owned the club? Well, allegedly, the club that King Von and them was at the night he passed was owned by 21 Savage's uncle. Now remember, 21 Savage said that he's the one that got the call first about Von passing, and he knew before Lil Durk. He says him and Lil Durk was at a bowling alley together in Houston. He got the call from the club, and he didn't want to tell Lil Durk, which sounds kind of crazy. Yeah. But he didn't want to tell Durk, but 5 minutes later, he seen Durk run out the bowling alley, so he said, damn, he must have found out.
Night happened. Me and Durk at the bowling alley, because we was out in Houston and shit, so we at the bowling alley. I got the call probably 2 minutes after it happened, no exaggeration. The club right there, that's like my uncle. So he called me, but I'm thinking he done did some, because they weren't kicking it like he got shot. They were kicking it like he shot somebody. But then goddamn, he called back and was like, nah, he got shot too. I ain't even want to tell Durk, so I ain't even say nothing to Durk. But then goddamn, about 5 minutes later, Durk just like left about the goddamn bowling alley like fast. I was like, damn, he just found out. I ain't want to tell.
Now keep in mind, this could either be true and Durk knew about Von being shot before we seen him on live, or he lied and Durk was on live and found out really how Von was shot, just how everybody assumed when he was looking at the messages as he got off live, right? I'll let y'all figure that one out. Now also, what a coincidence they say 21 Savage bought King Von's sister Kayla a new Range Rover after everything transpired, simply because he just wanted to because she dated his cousin. But if y'all remember, when Kayla being Mona Lisa, who's affiliated with King Von and his other sister and cousin Balo, she would expose Kayla B on Twitter as she would say, quote, "You got other issues to worry about than me. Tried to lie and say Lil Harold or Savage got you a car when Durk paid you off for the snake ish you did. F out of here." Now Von's sister Kay will also.
Now that's crazy, bro. It's like so much coming loose that we didn't know about. Bro, this is wild, bro. Stay tapped in. Don't go nowhere.
Also chime in during that back and forth as she would say, quote, "I'm not arguing with no prosty or B-word that got paid off." Now speaking of the car Kayla got, y'all check this out.
My son FaceTime me. He had the Range Rover dealership. Right? My mama sharp as hell. I'm sharp. I get my sharpness from my mama. So my son at the Range Rover dealership, you know, I'm telling her what's going on, but she, you know, her grandson, she ain't trying to hear that. Ooh, you know. So she said, he tell me, I said, he at the Range Rover dealership, man. 21 Savage about to back a little Range Rover. My mama said it wasn't out my mouth in 2 seconds. And I'm saying it like it's the truth, you understand me? I'm saying it like it's the truth. It wasn't out my mouth 2 seconds. She said he ain't bad it, he bad it. Like 21 ain't bad it, K-Pon bad it. It wasn't out my mouth 2 seconds. I'm saying it like it's the truth, you feel me? Like I'm sorry. Like I said, she called it. I'm repeating to her, 21 for the back, get a Range Rover. I'm saying it's like it's the truth, you understand me? It ain't out my mouth 2 seconds. He ain't bad it, he bad it. And then guess what? I had to check her too. Exactly. I had to check her. I said, because it ended up coming out on YouTube, the 21 ordered a Range Rover, right? Later on, it come out on YouTube that he ordered a Range Rover, right? She said, all I guess they did. I said, mean what you saying, say what you mean. You said what you meant. At the first time, don't do it up, because they got to paint the narrative that this what happened. You put me in my proper place. You put me in my proper place and told me he ain't bad, it ain't out my mouth 2 seconds. Now they put a video out to support that mind, and now you saying, yeah, come on.
Now, it's also a coincidence that it was rumors floating around that allegedly, in the past, King Von happened to rob 21 Savage's cousin. Allegedly. Now, I'm not saying what's right and what's wrong. All I'm doing is trying to show y'all what's been put out there, and I want to know from y'all what makes sense and what don't. Simple. Now, speaking of the club, what if I told y'all that the club was illegally open and was supposed to be shut down due to a previous shooting that happened there before? How was a club that was illegally open was secured by off-duty Atlanta police? Why would a lounge or club that's supposed to be shut down even operate? Shouldn't the police be aware and shut it down? Well, here's a document proving that the club was supposed to be shut down, but I guess it wasn't.
So you see it's public record that the place was illegally open. And that's the thing, my son called me and it just all clicked back. He like, man, the place where we having the after party at, it's closed down, some said shit happened somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So he thinking this whole thing is throwed off. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, because he already planned and he planned the place and everything, you understand? And him, Rondo, and Ron is texting back.
My bad, y'all, but why is this nigga whispering, bro? Like, bro, I got mixed feelings about this. I ain't even go back to you, bro. A lot of shit just confusing, a lot of shit just spooky, and it just don't make sense. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about this, man.
Back and forth, he talking to him, all he do is put him at the same place at the same time. And then the manager, if we can't take our guns in the club, but Slutty wasn't going, I'm gonna make sure folks get in the club first. Before we put our pistols up, you know what I'm saying? Just so happened his gun jammed.
Now, remember when Grandbaby was on live with his mother, Kayla B, and he said, quote, y'all did something to my uncle. Now, we knew that was a dead giveaway because why would a child say something like that? And why would he say his mother?
Yo, y'all did something to my uncle. But what if he was talking about the live or something? But I think okay, I feel like I'm trying to be on, it seemed like I'm trying to be on somebody's side, but I'm not. I'm just trying to figure out what the hell going on. I'm just lost.
But I miss my uncle because y'all did something bad to my uncle.
Oh, I miss my uncle because y'all did something bad to my uncle. Shh. Okay. Why would a kid say that, though? Y'all did something bad to my uncle, but she was talking to her. He wasn't talking to the live. He wasn't thinking about no live. Y'all did something bad to my uncle.
Now, we knew that was a dead giveaway because why would a child say something like that?
Yeah.
And why would he say his mother did something wrong to her own brother?
Yeah.
Well, here's a picture of Varney and another guy by the name of Fats, who y'all heard of in the text message that was exposed recently, and they were talking about something. Now, I'm not saying they were talking about doing anything to Vaughn here, but this picture just goes to show that Grandbaby was very much around and was able to hear a lot of things that maybe they didn't think he was comprehending. Which also may have been the reason why he was able to say, y'all did something bad to my uncle.
Talking about uncle, this and nothing with Grandbaby. Grandbaby never met Vaughn's father. Grandbaby never met Vaughn's father. True, with his father's story, she called me, you he said, yeah, I'm his grandfather, you know what I'm saying? But me and Von's daddy are not blood related, you know what I mean? But it's what it is. We've been together since we was 2 years old. We have been just together since we was 2 years old. So he asked me, that's my papa. So if you listen to the thing, my son's birthday is April 1st, okay? So it started 4-1 when he said, y'all did something to my grandpa, y'all did something to my uncle. You don't have to do nothing to my grandpa. I'm his grandpa, but guess what? But listen, I'm his grandpa. He never met Silver, which is Ron's dad. You understand? My son picked him up from school every day. He lived around him every day. His eyes is closed, but his ears are open. So God forbid he on the Bluetooth or whatever. But he was real sharp, and he put everything in that same clip. I got that clip the day I put Vaughn in the ground. The day I buried Vaughn is the day I went on YouTube and I found that clip. But he said, y'all did something to my uncle, same thing. And then on that same tape, 911 is at 911. That's when he said, you miss Vaughn? She said, yeah, I miss Vaughn. She said, do Vaughn, you miss Vaughn? She said, yeah, but you can see this thing in her face. This thing in her face. He said, why? Why? And he killed him. You know what I'm saying? Because he know he ain't stupid. The little boy sharp. You understand? Sharp.
See, and the little boy know more than what people actually think. Y'all think these kids be stupid? These kids be actually listening and know what they talking about. They probably don't know, but they go talk about it because y'all done said it already, so they just go repeat exactly what y'all said.
Well, now let's talk about the security that night. How about we talk about King Von's security, Big Country, who was told he wasn't going to secure for Vaughn that night, and he was only made into a driver, which is why he wasn't able to have his weapon that night. But ask yourself, why would they take him from being a security guard and make him a driver only, specifically that night?
What the hell? Yeah, this makes no sense, bro. He went from being a security guard to not being able to bring his gun and being a driver for the night is crazy.
That same security is currently locked up for protecting young Maul, who was his client, who he had to shoot multiple people trying to protect his client for, which was young Maul. So it just goes to show that whoever, quote unquote, made him into a driver that night knew what they were doing because they knew he wasn't going to go for anything happening to Vaughn while he was security. Keep in mind, he was also Durk driver initially as well. Alleged.
Von's driver, which was Big Country, Durk said the bullet.
Is that the African? That's the which one's the African?
No, listen. African is regular driver. Look, I never met Big Country in my life. Listen, show you how God work. I never met him in my life. He come to the mansion because he dragged Durk to the mansion so Durk can say something for him. Mama, He said, no, I'm sorry. Give my condolences to me. He said, I'm sorry. I was deactivated as a guard and I was only a driver that night. And I got the paperwork to show Big Country's locked up for protecting young Maul. If he had been on point, them niggas would have got killed. This, that, and other. You know what I'm saying? So the dude, Durk, sent his bulletproof truck, deactivated him as a guard. He was only a driver that night.
This is why we were all asking what was wrong with Vaughn's security that night, because it seemed like he didn't have no security. Clearly, it seemed like he was fending for himself.
Yep.
And if you even pay attention to the whole video from that night, you can see it seemed like it was a setup for Vaughn to be in the middle of the street. Now that sounds crazy, but Vaughn's father was unalived by a sniper who was never ever identified and never ever caught.
Yeah.
No suspect was ever caught for the unaliving of King Vaughn's father, Silk. The way Vaughn passed away, we could almost think the same because the way he was shot so many times and had different caliber shells in him according to the autopsy, sounds as if he was hit from multiple people.
Yeah.
We were told it was police, we were told it was Lul Tim, but our eyes would tell us we couldn't see who it was in the video.
Oh, that is facts, bro. He got hit by different people. It's crazy. Yeah, because the people kept saying police and stuff. Yeah, that's confusing, bro. This is wild. Now he got hit by different caliber bullets. It's crazy.
Lil Tim admitted his weapon jammed after a while, as we seen in the video. So where did the other shots come from that all hit Vaughn? How Quando Rondo wasn't hit at all? And for the millionth time, how was everyone with Vaughn shot, including him? Meanwhile, the person who actually fired the first shot wasn't. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that's it for now. It's a lot more, but we're gonna drop.
Now, y'all get this, right? Y'all hear this, right? None of Quando Rondo people was shot unless it was Vaughn people, and all Vaughn people was hit. Nigga got hit in their head, all types of things, bro. A lot of people died. Like, bro, this is spooky, bro. Now, when you really think about it, it's real setup vibes, bro. I feel back door all around, bro. Like, what do you mean his security guard couldn't secure for the night? That's spooky. I ain't gonna bad. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Let me know how you feel about this, shorty. Like, this is real wild, man.